Welcome to FXR Conversations. Today we're talking about the 4 essential setups for flash X-ray imaging. We want to explore how it lets us, see inside dynamic events, things happening incredibly fast. Our goal is really to get a handle on these super versatile setups, the ones that mean we don't have to just guess what's happening in those moments you just can't normally see. We want to see what's happening inside.
Exactly. And what's amazing is just how much these setups can do. It's not only about catching one specific instant, a single critical moment. You can actually set these systems up to look at really rapid sequences showing motion or even track events that happen along a path. We'll sort of walk through these different configurations and importantly, look at what makes the core bits, especially the X-ray tubes, so adaptable and, well, powerful.
Okay, let's unpack that. So when you've got something opaque, maybe something undergoing a really fast change, something a regular camera just can't see through or freeze in time, that's where flash X-ray is, essential. For some applications, the single flash X-ray setup is the perfect choice. This gives you one extremely short exposure of a particular point of interest. Let's call it the hotspot.
The area where all the action is.
Yeah. You typically have, say, a single straight or maybe a right-angle tube, and it's paired with a single imaging detector. It captures that one snapshot, one dynamic event, one fixed spot. It's the foundation, really. It gives you that single point of data.
Right. But, often a single 2D view doesn't tell the whole story. You might miss the depth, the geometry of what's happening. So if you need that kind of 3D perspective, but for the same hotspot, you'd move to stereo flash X-ray. That's where you use two or sometimes more of those single setups, but firing them all at the exact same time from different angles. There's even a neat dual tube option. One pulsar powers two tubes, each gets its own detector. You capture two images simultaneously, different views, instant stereo.
Okay, stereo makes sense for depth. But here's where I think it gets really interesting. Seeing one moment or even two views of it is great. But what if you need to see the process? The action as it unfolds? Like a little movie clip?
Yeah, exactly. To visualize that kind of motion or how something progresses, that's cinematic flash X-ray or Cena FXR. This gives you high-speed sequences, multiple images from a fixed area so you can study how the event evolves, like frames in a film.
How does that work? Different tube.
It uses a different kind of tube. It's called a multi-anode tube. It can fire multiple pulses really quickly, and it's paired with a cinematic imaging detector, the CID, which is built to capture that burst sequence. And yes, you can even do stereo cinematic, 2 MATs, 2 CIDs,
Wow.
getting those high-speed sequences, but from two angles at once.
Okay, that covers fixed areas of interest pretty well. But what about things that move from one place to another?
Right. The most complex stuff, maybe a projectile going down a barrel or watching material deformation occur at multiple hotspots. For that, you're looking at trajectory flash X-ray. This type of setup essentially combines, any number of the configurations we just talked about. Single, stereo, cinematic, but places them strategically along the path of the event. It lets you do multi-area imaging sequenced in time. You're effectively tracking and studying different stages as the event moves along its trajectory. It's how you really dig into those complex dynamic scenarios where things are traveling.
Okay, so let's imagine a potential trajectory flash X-ray setup. First, we might want to use single FXR to observe a projectile moving through a barrel. That's called internal ballistics. Then, as the projectile exits the barrel, we might want to use another single FXR setup to see through smoke and fire in order to observe the pitch and yaw of the projectile in early flight. That's external ballistics.
Finally, we might want to use either stereo FXR or cinematic FXR. That way we can capture the details, the nuances of the event, as the projectile reaches its destination. And that's called impact ballistics. Now, as you might imagine, different tubes mean different possibilities, and selecting the right tube setup for flash X-ray is, well, important.
So what actually makes all this flexibility possible? It sounds like the tube technology itself is pretty central.
Oh, absolutely. That's a huge factor. The design of these flash X-ray tubes gives some really significant practical advantages. One of the biggest ones is just modularity.
Modularity?
Yeah. You can easily swap between a single shot tube, a dual tube for stereo, or a multi-anode tube for cinematic sequences. Just change the tube on the system.
So you don't need like 5 completely different machines.
Exactly. It offers incredible versatility, saves a lot of space, simplifies how you set up experiments. It's a big deal.
And they sound pretty rugged too, built for real-world use.
Definitely. They're designed with user serviceability in mind. If a consumable part wears out, you just replace it right there on site, minimizes downtime.
Okay, that's practical. And I saw something about different focal spot sizes. 1.5, 2.5, 4 millimeter. Why does that matter?
Good point. Smaller focal spots generally mean sharper images. They reduce something called geometric blur, which is really important for getting clear radiographs, especially if your detector has to be really close to the thing you're imaging.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Sharper
Yep.
picture.
Plus, they're robust, easy to handle, have interchangeable windows.
So if you put all that together, the modularity, being able to service it, the spot sizes, the rugged design,
It adds up. It translates directly into cost effectiveness over the system's life. You can build a system that does exactly what you need without, breaking the bank. And the lower running costs just make it a more reliable solution long term.
so there you have it. These are incredibly powerful, really adaptable tools that let you capture details you couldn't see otherwise, study these super fast processes. Whether it's just freezing one moment, seeing a rapid sequence, or even tracking something moving along a path, combining these setups really changes how you can understand complex, fast stuff, things that were hidden before.
Absolutely. And this ability, to see the unseen, to freeze time on these dynamic events, it really leads to a question for you, the listener. Given what we've talked about, capturing hidden details, rapid processes, what dynamics phenomenon are you now most curious about exploring with FXR?
If you've got a question about Flash X-ray setups, the team at ScandiFlash is ready to help. Just go to scandiflash.com and get in touch.
And if you want more tips about Flash X-ray, check out our other episodes of FXR Conversations, where we discuss all things related to Flash X-ray.